Welcome to a special Thanksgiving edition of Gadget at thetechstop.net. It's the place where it's always time to get your geek on. I'm Father Robert Balacer. I'm a Catholic priest in the Jesuits. That's the Society of Jesus, a religious order of the Catholic Church. And this week we're taking a look at a little something for Uber geeks on the go. It's a mobile powerhouse called the Acer Aspire AS5745G-6323.
The Acer Aspire 5745G-6323 is a notebook for those who want the processing muscle of a portable powerhouse, but not the weight or expense of a 10-pound performance desktop replacement. The notebook measures less than 15 inches wide, 9.8 inches deep, and only 1 inch thick. The dimensions give the 5745G the screen and keyboard of a desktop replacement, but at only 5.72 pounds, it can travel like a midsize. The notebook is powered by an Intel i7-720QM CPU running at 1.6 GHz. The 720QM is a quad-core CPU with hyperthreading, meaning that it looks like 8 CPUs to its 64-bit installation of Windows 7 Home Premium. The CPU has 6 MB of L3 cache and utilizes Intel's Turbo Boost technology. Turbo Boost is a special feature on Intel i5 and i7 CPUs that allows the chip to increase clock speed and turn off unused cores for bursts of speed. In the case of the 720QM, the clock can be pushed from 1.6 GHz to 2.8 GHz for a nice performance gain when needed. The CPU sits on top of an Intel HM55 Express chipset and is supported by 4 GB of DDR3 dual-channel memory in 2 SODIMM slots. Unlike most laptops in this class, Acer has included a total of 4 SODIMM slots that are user upgradable to 16 GB. The 5745G has a glossy polycarb shell with a faded graphite pattern on the lid. Inside, Acer has a brushed aluminum palm rest that features an alloy cover surrounded by matte trim. The keyboard is a near full-sized model that uses well-spaced, flat keys with rounded edges. The keyboard is firm, and combined with the offset touchpad and aluminum palm rest, it makes for a comfortable typing platform, even for those with oversized fingers. Above the keyboard you'll find the power button, LED indicators for hard drive, scroll lock, and numlock, a programmable multifunction button, and an eject button. The 5745G also includes a third-generation Dolby Home Theater virtual surround bar that is adequate for personal use, but you'll want to use the HDMI port for high-quality sound should you decide to pump your entertainment through your home theater system. The touchpad is a multi-gesture device with click bar. It's large, responsive, and unlike some of the other touchpads that we've tested, resistant to smudges and oily buildup. The 5745G has a 15.6-inch Cinecrystal widescreen display. It supports a resolution of 1366 by 768 with a 16 by 9 aspect ratio, meaning that it's well sized for 720p high-definition video. We would have liked the screen to be a bit brighter, and the viewing angle is less than what we expected, but still, when viewing the screen within its viewing angle, the colors were bright and the picture was sharp. The screen is topped by a 1.3 megapixel camera that supports 1280 by 1024 video. The display is powered by a NVIDIA GT420M discrete GPU with 1 GB of dedicated DDR3 VRAM and up to 3 GB of shared memory. The GPU supports CUDA, Physics, DirectX 10.1, Pure Video Shader, as well as Optimus technology. The two standouts in this alphabet soup of technologies are CUDA and Optimus. CUDA technology allows programs like Adobe CS5 to take advantage of the power of the GPU, meaning that the 5745G is that much better for video and photo editing. The addition of Optimus technology means that the notebook can shut down the GPU for battery conservation or when the graphics performance is not needed. Together with the i7 CPU, the 5745G can give you raging performance or battery sipping efficiency on demand. The left side of the notebook has a Kensington lock port, VGA connector, HDMI port, Ethernet port, a USB 2.0 port, and connectors for microphone and speakers. The right side of the notebook adds another 3 USB 2.0 ports, the optical drive, and the 19-volt power plug. The notebook comes with a 500 GB SATA hard drive contained within a removable sled for easy upgrading. It also has a multi-layer 8X DVD optical drive and a multi-card reader at the front of the notebook. Network options include 10-100-1000 Ethernet, as well as 802.11a, B, G, and N wireless contained on a removable mini PCI Express card. The performance of the 5745G-6323 is excellent. In PCMark Vantage, the notebook scored a high of 6389. That places it in the upper echelon of sub-$1,000 notebooks. That's above any notebook that we've ever had in the Gadget Labs, including desktop replacements that weigh twice as much. In 3D Mark Vantage, it scored a high of 3365. In real-world terms, this notebook was able to handle everything we threw at it. It streamed YouTube 1080p video alongside Hulu 720p with a benchmark program in the background. It flawlessly displayed 10 separate high-def and standard-def videos simultaneously, while barely cracking 10% CPU utilization. Adobe Premiere CS5 was able to access the CUDA functions of the GPU, meaning that I could do real-time video editing of 1080p AVC HD files without rendering. In other words, it smoked. Acer rates the 4400 mAh battery to last up to 3.5 hours, but our test showed that the real-world battery life is closer to 2.5. We were able to push the battery to 4 hours 17 minutes, but that was with almost everything turned off and the screen at minimum brightness. With the screen at maximum brightness and the CPU maxed by video editing, the battery lasted less than 2 hours. As always, your times will be somewhere in between. The Acer Aspire 5745G-6323 is available now with a 1-year limited warranty. We've been able to find it online for less than $800.
I've had this notebook now for a few weeks, and I've been able to put it through its paces, and it's done quite well, both in benchmarking and in real-world experience. In fact, this particular unit is going to be used to edit not just this episode of Gadget, but the next two. It's that good at Premiere Pro CS5. Now, with that experience comes a short list of things that I'd like to see done better in the next version of the notebook. The first thing has to be battery. It's just too short. I'd like to see Acer move from a 6-cell battery to a 9-cell battery. Maybe get it under 6 pounds, but give me that extra hour, hour and a half of juice. The second thing would be the GPU. Now, the 420M is not a slow graphics part, but there are faster parts out there, and if you're a gamer, a hardcore gamer, you're going to want a little extra horsepower behind the screen. The third thing, well, it's some of the things that it's missing. For example, there's no Bluetooth. And most of all, there's no USB 3.0 or eSATA ports. This box, with as well as it performs, will be used for video editing. And if you're going to be doing video editing, you're going to have big files. And if you have big files, you're going to want external storage. And I'm sorry, but USB 2.0 just doesn't cut it. The last thing has to be the styling. Now, I like this wrist rest. I love aluminum, and I wish they had used it all over the notebook, because the polycarb shell, although it is attractive, attracts smudges and fingerprints and scratches, and people just know that's a pet peeve of mine. Now, even though I have that list, none of those things are a deal breaker. In fact, none of those things really are a con of this review, because it's all about balance. Acer, like any other manufacturer out there, has to balance portability with price, with feature, with battery life. And I think they've done a really good job in the 5745G. There are computers out there, desktop replacements, that perform better, that are faster, that have more ports, more features, but they weigh twice as much and they have half as much battery life. There are computers out there that can last 9 hours on a battery charge, but you know what? This spanks them in performance. There are laptops out there that have the all-aluminum construction, but you know what? You're not going to find many of those in this class of performance for under $1,000. And in that sense, it is a really good midpoint. Now, beyond the balance, there's a few things that I just really like about the notebook flat out. The first thing has to be performance. With this CPU, with this GPU, with this combination of components, it is a fantastic mobile video editing workstation. That's important to me. The second thing has to be the upgradability of the unit. It has that removable sled for the hard drive, so I can swap it out. It has 4 SODIMM slots, which means that when I upgrade the memory, and I will, I'm not going to have to throw out what I've already invested in. I just add 2 more sticks of memory, and I'm good to go. In the final calculus, if you want something that's going to be used just for web surfing and email checking and the occasional light word processing, you know what? Get yourself a netbook, get yourself an ultra portable, get yourself a tablet. If you want something that's going to last on that transatlantic flight, get yourself a mid-size notebook. And if you want something that's going to be extreme power, get yourself a desktop replacement. But if you want something in the middle, something that combines performance with mobility, with battery life and price, then you got to check out this Acer Aspire. You can find out more about it by going to their website at www.acer.com. Or you could find out how we've been using it by following us on our Twitter feed at www.twitter.com/PadreSJ. If you want to send me an email message, you can write me at gadget@thetechstop.net. I'm Father Robert Balacer. This is Gadget, and remember, there's no Uber Geek without you.